welcome to another episode of the Clock Enders podcast, episode 31. Just finished watching Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Another beating. I shouldn't say another beating, actually. They held us pretty close when they came to the Emirates. They scored within 9 seconds or something like that. And Reece Nelson had to pull out the goal of the season, pretty much, to keep us in the title race last year. But every time we go to this place, two things happen. We beat them handily, and we get a new chant for one of our players. This time, we have a new chant for Kai Havertz, who scored a goal, scored a PK that was handed to him by, Martin Odegaard, and Saka decided to give the PK to Kai Havertz, and all's forgiven. Scored the goal, new song before Partey, song before Gabriel Magalhaes, a song before Ramsdale, a song before Ben White, song before Trossard. I mean, fantastic. But again, and I'm going to keep asking this question until I get a proper answer. What is Kai Havertz doing that anyone on the bench on the Arsenal squad can't do? I get why Odegaard plays. He's the best technical player we have. I get why Gabriel Jesus plays. He's technically gifted. He can score big goals for you. Saka, Martinelli, Rice. I get it why those guys play. Emile Smith-Rowe came in for a 10-minute cameo and almost scored twice and was visibly upset after the game, almost in tears that he didn't score those two goals. Because he understands how precious that opportunity is. That we're just giving players. We're just giving players the opportunity. Now listen to me very carefully. Arsenal fans out there, listen to me. Before you start telling me I'm toxic and I'm this and I'm that. I want Kai Havertz to succeed on this squad more than anybody. I do. But if you're not providing the goods, you got to play guys that can. I ask this question to every Arsenal fan that backs Kai Havertz, and I never get an answer. So I'm going to ask you guys, what is Kai Havertz doing on Arsenal that El Nani can't do? If it's just hustle and getting around, El Nani can do that. But why is he playing before Vieira? Why is he playing before Smith-Rowe? Vieira and Havertz are ahead of Smith-Rowe. And the 10-minute cameo that I saw against Bournemouth on the weekend tells me something should be different. It tells me something should be very different. Not a Kai Havertz bashing session. Definitely not. If that song is the thing that pumps him up to become the player we thought we were getting, or the player that we thought we were going to see when he was with Chelsea from Bayern Leverkusen, if that song is going to pump him up to do that, then kudos. Fantastic. Applause. But professional player that plays at the highest level in the best league in the world, plays for the German national team, international. You need a song to big you up? Okay. Anyways, Champions League game tomorrow, or Champions League game Tuesday against Lens. It should be I'm going to work for that game. I shouldn't have to watch that. I stayed home to watch the first Champions League game in 6.5 years. The first time they played a couple of weeks ago at home, just to see the crowd and lend my support that way. I shouldn't have to watch this game. I'm not going to. I'm going to go to work. But let's see who plays, and let's see who does what. So let's get into the player ratings from this Bournemouth game. There's not really much to say about the game. Arsenal did what they're supposed to do to teams like that. Maybe years ago it would have been close and it would have been squeaky bum time at the end and we pull it out. Maybe it's a draw, like we saw against Fulham, down to 10 men. Fulham down to 10 men and we draw them. They scored while they had 10 men. Maybe it's that. But, I mean, against Bournemouth, the quality that we have, it should have been this all day, every day. Shouldn't even have to watch that game. But the best thing that I saw in that game was the quality of the depth now. You can see it now. You can see it when, take off Ben White and you bring on Tommy Asu. You can see it when you take off Odegaard and you bring, or Kai Havertz and you bring on Emile Smith-Rowe. You can see it when Nketiah comes off and somebody else comes on the wing. I think it was Vieira came in on the wing. You can see it now. You might even have an argument saying that, well, not an argument, but those players that we brought in that were fresh. It's just when you're born with a player looking at the sideline and you see, Smith was coming on now. Now he's gonna run at me again. Oh my god! Oh, Vieira, these tricky guys coming on. Oh my god! Oh my god! They're taking out Declan Rice and putting in Jorginho, a guy who was on a Ballon d'Or finalist last year. Oh my god! You understand what I'm saying? This is what we should be. This is what we should have had from years, and this is what Arsenal and Arteta and Eddie are trying to build, where you have a player at every position that could start on most teams in the EPL, but they're on the bench. Because when we need you to finish off games so I can rest guys for a Champions League game and City on Sunday, thank you. Hopefully tomorrow, when the Champions League game hits, it's done and dusted by the first half so we can rest some guys for City. This is what I want to see. But anyways, let's get into the player ratings. I mean, this is not going to be a very long episode. It's going to be quick and to the point. Well, I'll start off with Arteta. I mean, it's hard to get the lineup wrong against Bournemouth. Very hard. And then he could have started anybody. It should have been the same result. So I give him an 8. I've mentioned time before that it's hard not to get the lineup. It's hard to get the lineup wrong, and there's been times where he's got the lineup wrong. So I mean, for this game, 6 different lineups he could have put out there. They should have been the same result. So I'll give him an 8 for that. David Raya, keeping Ramsdale out of the net. I probably heard Ramsdale's name more than Raya's name. He didn't have anything to do, really. There's a couple of things he came out and claimed, some crosses or whatever, but it's meat. That's food and drink for him. I mean, it shouldn't be nothing difficult about that. It's an 8. It's going to be 8s all across the board for the defense. Ben White, solid, overlapping, providing support for Saka, scored a goal, didn't do anything wrong. An 8 for me. Gabriel Magalhaes. Maybe you guys can tell me if I'm looking too deep into something, but it looks like ever since Arsenal went to a back 3 and left him on the bench, and everyone asking why is Gabriel not playing, this kind of looks a little bit different. I don't know if he looks unsure or panicky, or doesn't want to make is trying too hard not to make a mistake because he doesn't want to sit again. I don't know what it is, but it's different. It's a different Gabriel Magalhaes I'm watching. It might be just me overanalyzing. That's fine. That's what I do. But I think there is something going on. Didn't play bad at all. He was fantastic. But when he gets the ball, it just seems like there's a moment of panic for me watching him. I don't know. Again, I might be looking too deep into it. I might be crazy, but something to watch for future games. He gets an 8 from me. I mean, didn't do anything wrong. Nothing. No real pressure. Him and Saliba are the best for me. Are the best defensive center back pairing in the EPL, if not Europe. But just something to watch if you guys want to watch that. His partner Saliba, what can you say? Zinchenko said it. Rolls Royce. Doesn't make a mistake. Doesn't give the ball away. If he does make a mistake, he's back. He's the first back to recover. Whatever. Typical Saliba performance. 8. Zinchenko, left back, didn't really have to defend that game. Providing support in the midfield like he always do, inverted, like he always does. Sorry, inverted. I mean, nothing difficult. Get ready for Lens. Get ready for City. He gets an 8. Kai Havertz scored a penalty shot. Got a new song. Again, I ask, what does he do that Smith Rowe can't do? I don't know. I gave him a 5 the last time, and I was asked, how can you give a 5 for a performance in a game where the team performed like that? I did. I'll give him a 6 today for the performance. Again, I thought I was getting Odegaard 2.0. I thought Mikel Arteta was going to unlock Martin Odegaard 2.0 on. So whatever side the ball is on, you have a playmaker that can provide the final pass. If that's not what he's supposed to be playing, and he's supposed to be playing a true 8 box to box, I don't know if you have the right player for that. But anyways, if that song and that goal gives him the boost he needs to perform, and I'm all for it. I don't want to see Kai Havertz fail. Believe me, I am here as an Arsenal fan. I want Kai Havertz to succeed. I want him to be the best player Arsenal's ever seen. Put on the shirt. Best player to put on the shirt. That's my wish for it. That's my wish for him. But he's gonna have to show something. He's gonna have to show something. So he gets a 1 point higher rating than I gave him the last time because he didn't do anything last game. Lucky to get a 5 from him. But he got a 6 this game. Song's catchy though. Song is very catchy. If you see the Instagram posts out there of the crowd, there's a woman in the bottom left there just dancing up a storm. It's a very catchy tune. Very catchy tune. But before Partey, he has a song? Okay. No problem. Martin Odegaard, typical captain's performance. I mean, scored the PK, provided a lot of key passes and key moments for Arsenal, kept the game ticking, captain's performance, he gets an 8. Declan Rice, like I said, it's hard. I've said in other podcasts, it's hard to look at this guy's performances and say he's not man of the match. He's everywhere. He's calm with the ball. He tracks back. He's fast, athletic. He's strong. I mean, there's very little games where he can be looked at as an issue. There's none so far, anyways. As I'm seeing, 8 games in, he could be man of the match every game. So he gets an 8 on the same par as Odegaard. Saka, hopefully the injury or why he went off isn't as serious as it could be. Because you're looking at something like Martinelli now. Martinelli's been out the last 2-3 games, and we haven't heard anything about it. How serious is it? I don't want this to turn into a Thomas Rosicky thing where it's, he'll be out for a couple of games and you don't see him for a year and a half. I know we won't. I mean, Martinelli's young enough and hungry enough to be back. Hopefully he's back by the weekend. Thomas Partey's back in training, which is a nice sight to see. I think Trossard's over whatever happened in the warm up against Bournemouth. I think he's back from that. Or not Bournemouth, the game before that, whoever we played before. So he got injured. I think he got injured in the warm up. So he's back from that. So Trossard's available, I believe. He was on the bench. So he should be available for the Champions League game and hopefully City. Like I said, Partey's back. So only long-term injuries right now we're seeing are Jurriën Timber and Martinelli right now. So hopefully they can bounce back from that because they're going to be needed for, well, more so Martinelli. I think Timber is a season-long injury, but hopefully, They said he was walking without crutches 2 weeks ago, so I don't know. Maybe he's a super healer. I would love to see him this season. I would definitely love to see him. So giving the rating for Saka, scored a PK, was a terror down the wing again, attracting double teams, leaving guys open on the other side. He gets an 8. Eddie Nketiah, I mean, I don't know. If you guys watch this podcast and listen to certain things that I say, I'm not his biggest fan. Not just because he snubbed Ghana for to play for them, but not his biggest fan. I mean, hustles, earned one of the PKs through his hustle. Still don't think he's the type of striker that we're going to win an EPL title with. If you're thinking about winning titles and bringing in strikers, you're looking at a Victor Osimhen, you're looking at a Dusan Vlahovic, you're looking at an Ivan Toney to bring in guys like that. Those are the guys that you need, big, strong guys that can hold up the ball and get on the end of the balls and finish, get in the right spot. Those are poachers, those are strikers. Those guys have a nose for the goal. I don't think Nketiah has that, but an Arsenal player, I'll support him. I gave him a 7. We'll end up the starters with Gabriel Jesus, industrious again. Didn't get on the score sheet, caused problems down the wing, which is a head scratcher to me. I don't know why you play Gabriel Jesus on the wing. He's more of he's a central striker. You can play him in behind. If you want to play him in behind Nketiah, I can see that more than I can see him playing on the wing. If anybody should go out to the wing, it should be Eddie Nketiah. Let Gabriel Jesus play in his natural position, which is in the center of the field. So he gets a 7 as well, same as Nketiah, but a 7 due to the fact that he's not playing in his proper position. That brings us to the substitutions. Jorginho bounced back from the error he made against Spurs, which, again, if you listen to the last episode, I don't blame him for that. It's all about repetition. You haven't played a lot in the season, so I mean, when you get onto the field, the first thing you're going to do is make a mistake. It's possible, but I mean, I don't blame him for that. Played proper, got the ball, move the ball, pass it to the open guy. Not much you can really say. I'm not going to give ratings to the substitutes. They weren't. I don't think any of them were on really that long to give them that, but. Tomiyasu came in as well. I mean, if you watch the game carefully, he was now playing inverted as well. He was more in the middle of the field than some of our midfielders. He took over that, so he's learning that position the same way Kieran Tierney was learning that position. Who, by the way, unlucky, man. Tore his hamstring, out for 3 months at Real Sociedad. I mean, this guy can't catch a break. He was playing every game. He was playing Champions League. He was playing in the league. He was starting. And then 3 months, he's going to be on the sideline for 3 months with a torn hamstring. I don't know, man. I feel bad for this guy. But getting back to the guys that are playing for Arsenal right now, it's Tomiyasu. Yeah, he's playing inverted in the midfield. If you watch the game, you'll see him more in the middle than he was on the right-hand side, which is good to watch because now he's learning that position and can be, he can be effective if anything happens to anybody else that needs to come off. So that was good to see. Emile Smith-Rowe, what can you say? He understands the badge. He understands the weight of the badge. He understands what it means to play for Arsenal in any game. Like those are the games. Like North London Derby is the game. North London Derby is the game that Emile Smith-Rowe should be playing in, should be starting in. He understands it. Saka and him understand it. In the all or nothing. You can see when they're talking about it, him and Saka and Eddie Nketiah, and I think Balogun was there with Lokonga. Imagine what it would be like to score in a North London Derby. Like they have dreams of that. And they did, actually. I think they did. Both of them scored in that game. The The next day was the North London derby, and both of them scored. But you just imagine scoring in a North London derby. Who else on this team is saying that? I understand it's a rivalry. You know it's a rivalry, but who has that fire to say, oh my God, if I could score in a North London derby, my whole month's made. Guys like Emile Smith-Rowe should be that 10, like I said earlier, the 10-minute cameo, better than most guys 90, 80 minutes. He should be playing. He should be playing. And he shouldn't just be Caribou Cup, FA Cup. He should be playing meaningful minutes and meaningful games. That's me saying it. Now, what do you have to do to get him into those games? I don't get paid for that. So I'm not going to tell you, but you should already know. Fabio Vieira, tricky customer, has that confidence of starting those 2 games in Champions League and getting assists and being a major factor and having a song and all that stuff. So maybe the song is a thing that boosts these players on Arsenal. I don't know, but he played well as well. And we'll talk about the fans, the away fans. Like, I don't know, man. It makes me proud to be an Arsenal fan. The way that they travel and the way that they sing. They were singing all game. They were loud all game. There was times when I was watching the game and I was just trying to figure out what are they singing? What are the Bournemouth fans singing? Like, oh, wait a minute. That's an Arsenal song. And it was just, they were so much louder than Bournemouth fans. There's probably 2,000 of them there, 2,500, maybe close to 3,000, maybe in a 10,000 seat stadium. And you couldn't hear Bournemouth fans at all. And not much to cheer about, but you got to defend your ground. Even if you're getting dubbed 5-0, you got to defend your ground with chance, at least. Sing about the manager, sing about the players, do something. There was a point in the game where the Arsenal fans were singing, "Do you want us to sing a song for you?" Like, we'll sing a song for you if you want. There's a chant for that. Shall we sing a song for you? They were silent. And then, when they get the bit in between their teeth, of a new chant, which is the Kai Havertz chant this year, it was just relentless. Like last year it was Saliba's chant, and it was on repeat for like 40 minutes. And this year it was Kai Havertz song. But again, Kai Havertz song, I love it. It's catchy. It's a very catchy tune. I love it. And you heard it at the beginning of the show. So again, hopefully it spurs him up. I shouldn't say that. Hopefully it pushes him to become the Kai Havertz we thought we were getting. So that's those are the player ratings and my analysis of the Bournemouth game this past weekend. We have Champions League in France against Lens tomorrow. We also have, I hope it's they call these games in football betting, they call them sandwich games, because you have your bread on Bournemouth, you have your meat as Lens, and then you have the other side of the sandwich on Sunday against Man City. So hopefully they're not looking forward to that Man City game and not giving their all for this Champions League. So big game on Sunday. Well, see, even I'm doing it. Big game tomorrow. We'll say big game tomorrow, Champions League. Hopefully that's done and dusted in 45 and we can get some guys some rest. And then game of the season so far on Sunday against Manchester City. I believe it's at the Etihad. Oh no, it's going to be at the Emirates. We're just away. So big game. Curious to see who gets the start in net tomorrow. Curious to see who gets the start in net on Sunday. I believe Ramsdale will play tomorrow in Champions League, and I think Raya will play against Manchester City on Sunday. But yeah, guys, quick and easy, quick and dirty. That is my recap of the Bournemouth Arsenal game with player ratings. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you next week. No show after the Champions League game, but definitely be back to talk about Man City Arsenal. See you then.